All right. Looks like all my favorite people are joining us here today. All my favorite people are online and watching, and we're about to get started. So today we have an open lesson. This means that you can ask any question that you want. I hope that your questions are about English, but you can ask any question that you want, and I will try my best to answer them. I see that Maria is with us. Melissa is with us. Melissa is with us twice. Kai is with us. And great. Also, I think that there will be some people joining us from YouTube. So we will take lots of questions. So maybe you have prepared some questions that you want to ask today. You can, if you want to ask a question, you can click on the raise hand button in Zoom, or you can write your question in the chat, and then I'll turn on your microphone and then you can ask your question. And then everyone who's watching on YouTube, in the comments to this video, there is a message and it has a link, and you can join us using that link. All right. And I see Michelle is with us. Great. Welcome, everybody. So, like I just said, it's an open lesson. You can ask any question that you want. Just click on the raise hand button to ask questions, or you can write your questions in the chat. So today we're not just going to talk about anything and everything. There will be specific questions, and then I will answer those questions that are asked. All right. I see Maria's typing away over there. Let's do turns. Okay, so right. So if someone has a question, then they can click on the raise hand button or write their question in the chat, and then we'll answer that question. That way we're not just talking about nothing. And again, everybody who's watching on YouTube, you can click the link in the comments and you can join us live. I see Angbe has just joined us. All right, so it looks like right now there are no questions, which is interesting. No questions about English, no questions about anything. That's unique. I see Michelle has two hands up. Okay, Angbe used the raise hand button, so that's great. I'll call on Angbe first, and then I'll go around to other people who are physically raising their hand. Great. Angbe, if you could just turn on your video so we can see your beautiful face. Thanks. And your microphone. And then turn on your microphone and we'll be able to hear you. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, fine.
Where are you joining us from?
From Togo.
Togo. Togo.
Yeah, Togo.
Yeah. Cool.
So I'm Angbe, I'm Ivorian, but I'm currently living in Lomé, Togo, for a master's program.
Oh, what are you studying?
I'm studying in energy fields and climate change, renewable energy and climate change.
Wow.
Yeah,
that sounds interesting.
So yeah, the program is done in English. Everything is in English. We do presentation in English, and I'm a Francophone, as you can hear. So my English is not too good. Yeah, it's not too good. I've been following you since a while on Facebook, sorry. And I like the way you express yourself. I like the way you encourage people, the way you do in order to help people to improve themselves in English. So I would like to join you, but I don't know the processes to follow in order to be able to join you. If you can further explain, I think it will be much more better for me.
Awesome. Thank you for this question. It's a good first question. So everybody who's here today, this is just a free live lesson or speaking practice session that we have one time every week. And so anybody who wants to join this can join this. We have a special private community where some people join us from, but also people who are subscribers to the YouTube channel can join these live calls. And every week, this is at 8 a.m., so 8 in the morning, New York City time or Eastern United States time on Wednesday. So every Wednesday, 8 a.m. New York time, we do this. But we want to add more of these free lessons to YouTube, to everyone who's a subscriber on YouTube. So when more people subscribe and there's more people here, then we will start to add more of these lessons. But we also have a private program with private groups. And so every day we have 3, 4, 5 live lessons with professional teachers and native speakers. And that's on our website at chrisamericos.com. And so if you are serious about, speaking practice and improving your spoken English, then that's the best place to go. And, a good place to start is here. So this is a good place to start. And then if it's something that you really are serious about and you really need to improve your spoken English, then you can go over to our website and look at that program.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your question. And it's great to meet you face to face. Okay, great. So I see Sadi has his hand up. Hi, Sadi.
Hello, what's up?
What's up?
Yeah, I'm great.
Where
I'm
are
really
you
happy
from?
to see you. I'm from Bangladesh, and I'm really so happy to see you. So
You're
thank
from
you for
Bangladesh.
yeah. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
So do you have a question that you want to ask today?
Yeah, I have a question. I want to know what is the meaning of sucker for? Because
Can you say that again?
Sucker for.
Could you write it maybe? I don't understand exactly.
Yeah, can I say SUCKER FOR sucker for.
K-E-R, sucker.
Sucker for.
I don't know this word.
Wait a minute. I will write.
Okay, you'll write it in the chat.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have written already.
Okay. To be a sucker for something. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Good question. I'm going to put this word on the screen so that everyone can also see what we're talking about. To be a sucker for something. This is the question. So what does this verb mean? And so first of all, what is a sucker? Right? So a sucker, it's somebody who has a weakness. Like it can be somebody who is kind of like stupid. Somebody who will believe anything. Like, for example, somebody says, I will give me $100. I will give you this car. And you give him $100 and he runs away. And he says, you're a sucker. It means you will believe anything. Like you're stupid. You will believe anything. It's easy to fool this person. It's easy to trick this person. A sucker. That's a sucker, to be a sucker.
Yeah.
But, and so sometimes in films or in TV shows, you'll see this, like somebody will lie or cheat or trick another person. And then they will say, ha ha, sucker. It means like
What?
I tricked you. Like you believed
got
it
it.
and it wasn't true. But then this phrase to be a sucker for something, it means that like you don't use logic. Like you can't think correctly about this thing. So there's a popular song by Tupac called Sucker for Love.
Yeah. I've listened this.
You've heard that. Is that where you heard this
Yeah,
phrase?
yeah. I've listened this
So,
line from
so
this
yeah.
song.
So if somebody says, I'm a sucker for love, this means that I am a fool for love. Like I cannot think correctly for love. I become stupid for love. Right?
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah. If I love ice cream, can I say I'm sucker for ice cream, or
Yeah.
I'm sucker for burger? Then I'm
I'm
crazy.
a sucker. I'm a sucker for.
I'm a sucker for.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for burger. I'm a sucker for pizza. So can I say?
Yeah,
If I
you
love,
can. Yeah, you can say that. You can. I mean, I wouldn't say it all the time. People don't say it all the time. People usually say, I like ice cream or I love ice cream, right? But this is a creative, a fun phrase that someone might use. But honestly, I usually hear this in songs or poetry.
yeah. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Great question. All right, let's go to the next person. I see there's one person with the hand up. They pressed the raise hand button, but your name is in, I think it's Arabic. And sorry, I can't read Arabic. I don't know what your name is, but I've just asked you to turn on your mic. Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. What's your name?
I'm Muayyad Jdefat from Jordan.
Sorry, what's your name?
Muayyad.
Moed.
This is the Arabic name.
Moed.
Yes. Nice to meet you. First one, I want to be a friend with you, if you want, or if you...
Yeah, of course. You said that you're from Jordan?
Yes, I'm from Jordan, and I want to be in connection with each other in anything you
Great.
want, Messenger or YouTube or anything.
Awesome. Great. So yeah, today we have this open lesson and you can ask any question that you want and I will try to give my best answer.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
I'm English teacher. I'm English language teacher. Okay. And sometimes I face some very low students in English. He cannot read. He don't know any letters in English. Okay. In 10th grade, and now I'm learning for Syrian students. Okay. As you know, they have very hard conditions.
Yeah.
What happened? So many times I face this type who don't know the letters. He cannot know anything in English. So how can I improve him in this language? Or how can I how can I encourage them to improve their level in English? Can you answer me? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. It's an interesting question. I didn't expect this kind of question today, but it's good. So we need to start with the alphabet first, right? We need to start by learning the sounds of the letters, the sounds of words. So okay, I guess there's two or three different approaches. There's two or three different methods that someone might use. One method is, some people say that you just need to speak. So you just find some basic situations and use body language, right? Like I, you say, you,
yes,
I, you, right? So we can teach teach like this, right?
Yes, I understood what you mean.
So we can start like this. This is one method. Another method is that we start with the sounds of letters, and this is more like how you teach a child to read, right? Because the child can say some words, but they look at the letters and what does that mean? It means nothing. So they have to learn that the letter is connected to the sound. I'm teaching my daughter this right now. So trying to teach her the name of the letter, and then the sound of the letter, and then, oh, when you put the letters together, it makes a word. And then, oh, that's how you make words. Wow. Okay. So I think that there's different strategies that different teachers might say are good or bad. Probably it's some kind of mix of these things that's best.
My teacher, the specific problem that they don't have any importance to English language. Okay, they said that شو بدي فيها يعني in English I don't need it. Okay, so but these students, many students, not one or two. And in my classes, every class I have one or two or three students who have care or who have importance to teach English, okay, or to learn English. Sorry, but and he cannot understand. But my supervisors, okay, told me every moment, okay, to talk with them in English. But when I talk with them in English, he cannot understand anything. So the level of their understanding is low, is very low. Unfortunately, this is very difficult sometimes for me.
Yeah, I understand you. Yes, I think, there are a lot of teachers and a lot of teaching methods. They think that if you just speak English at somebody, that magically they will magically start speaking English too. But I think one big part of the job of a language teacher is motivation and
Yes.
and mindset, mentality, changing how the person thinks. And so to do this, you don't need to use English. You can tell them this in Arabic. You can tell them this in their language. You can tell them why they need something in their language to get them ready to learn English, right? Because a person who doesn't know English, you can't say in English, you need English. That doesn't mean anything. You have to tell them in their language and make it about their life, right?
The last question, please excuse me.
Yeah.
The last question. I want to improve my pronunciation. When when you listen to me, my pronunciation is correct or is incorrect? And my chances for speaking in English is very low. As you know, I cannot speak in English with my students. So who with speaking English?
Yeah.
So my chances for speaking English is very low.
Well, that's why you're here today, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah, you're with us here today, and this is a good chance to practice. To answer your question, the first question about your pronunciation, I don't think that there is, like, we shouldn't think about it like, is it correct or incorrect? I understand you. That's what's important, right? And when maybe one or two times I didn't understand you, right? Like I asked, oh, what did you say? Or, right, I asked you to repeat. Sometimes I didn't understand. So if a person doesn't understand you, then that's not good. You want people to understand you. But if people understand you, this is good. So I don't think that we should talk about it like correct and incorrect. I think that we should talk because, for example, my pronunciation is incorrect if we are learning British English. My pronunciation is incorrect if we're learning Australian English.
Yes.
So, and so it's different everywhere. So I think that it's fine. The most important thing is that people understand you, and I understand you. We had a good talk.
Many people who told me, okay, the best way to improve pronunciation is listening. Do you agree with this?
I think that listening is it really helps your pronunciation. But I think speaking is the best place to practice pronunciation. Speaking, but also listening. Yeah.
Speaking.
Yeah.
How can I pronounce? How can I practice? As I told you, my chances is very low. And I cannot speak English in our daily life.
Actually, I think I just made a video about this recently. Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link right now. So here is that link. I just set it in the chat on Zoom, and I will also post this on YouTube. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Does anyone else have a question? If you have a question, you can click on the raise hand button in Zoom, and then you can ask your question. You can ask any question. It's best if you ask questions about English, but you can ask any question. So before we go to the next, I see Michelle, you're clapping, or was that a question? Okay. Let me just go to YouTube real quick to the comments. So I see Yulia from the comments on YouTube says, my experience in studying Italian languages, showed me to begin with common phrases and only after that, the rest of the things. Yeah, I think that's one strategy too, to learn the basic phrases to say, right? Like, hi, I'm Chris. My name is Chris. I am from this place, and right. So that's also another strategy. And Leonardo asks, what is this? So this is an open lesson where you can ask your questions and I will try to answer them every Wednesday at 8 a.m. New York time. We go live on this YouTube channel and we talk about different topics, practice speaking, and sometimes, like today, answer questions. And we want to add more of these meetings, more of these lessons in the future. So tell your friends to subscribe to this YouTube channel. When we get more people subscribing to this YouTube channel, we will add more lessons. Great. Michelle, what was your question?
Hi, Chris. It's a
Hi,
question
thanks for
about.
joining us today.
Thank you so much. It's a question about English, actually. I was watching one of the TV series, and it's a British Netflix TV series called The Crown. I don't know if you watched, if you ever heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's amazing, actually. So the question is, I was watching this episode the other day, it was yesterday actually, and I came across the following expression. It is a collocation actually. One of the actresses says, I'm gonna try to speak a little slow because I wanna make sure that you can understand what I'm gonna say.
I understand what you said. Yeah. Okay,
she says, I even wrote it down. I'm so far down the royal pecking order, specifically about the collocation pecking order. What does it mean exactly?
I'm so far down what?
I'm so far down the royal pecking order.
Pecking order,
Yes. What does pecking order means?
Yeah, good question. So let me bring this.
Because I didn't want to pause the episode to check the translation. So when I knew what this meeting was going to be about, I was like, I need to ask this question.
Okay, good examples. So pecking order, what is a pecking order? And right, so the pecking order, it means like the order, the level of when people get some resources or something. Okay. So it's like imagine there's a big storm and there's no food and everybody comes to one place and the government is giving food to everyone. So who will get the food first?
Okay.
The most important people will get the food first. And then it will go down and down and down and down, right? So this is the pecking order. It's like the people who get the first resources.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Does it have to do with position or something like that?
It's about like it's social position. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
The pecking order. I mean, it could be about a company, it could be about a family, it could be, but it always describes the situation. It's usually about resources, about food or money or something else. And it shows that there's some people who are higher and some people who are lower. And the people who are higher get this thing first.
Okay, so in this example, in this case, it is related to position in the family, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess in the royal family.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's something like, so also the word, there's a verb, to peck. Let's go a little deeper on this one. So the verb to peck. This is what chickens do when they eat.
Okay.
So
it's an action verb.
To peck, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So like imagine which chicken gets the food first. The biggest chicken. The strongest chicken, right? Like, so this is like the pecking order. It's the one who gets the food first. This is what it's talking about. It's from this verb to peck, which is usually about like a bird, usually about a chicken.
Okay.
You know how the chicken has a beak, and they go
okay.
Like this movement of like hitting with their beak. This is to peck.
Okay.
Like maybe you know another bird called. There's another kind of bird called a woodpecker. This is a bird that it makes a very loud noise because it goes to the tree and goes. Do you know this bird?
This sounds familiar, but I don't know the verb, but I know the sound that you.
This bird I'm talking about. The bird who does this. You might hear it.
Okay, I don't know the name in English, but in Portuguese, it's kind of you're not gonna understand me. We say pica-pau in Brazil.
So I just gave you the English word. It's woodpecker. That's the name of this bird.
Okay. It's a very famous character, isn't it?
Woody woodpecker. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it can be used either as a verb and as a noun as well.
Woodpecker is a type of bird.
Okay. And
but
the word
peck
to peck
is what birds do with their beak.
Okay. Got it.
Yep. Let me write that word here too. A beak. A beak is a bird's nose.
I used to watch this cartoon when I was a very little kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's where this phrase comes from. Pecking order comes from this verb to peck, which is about birds, usually about eating.
Okay.
Awesome.
Got it. Thank
Great
you, Chris.
question. Yeah, thank you. All right. if anyone else has a question, you can click on the raise hand button and you can ask your question. Okay, I see Melissa, you're waving. Okay, 1 second. I'm just gonna check on YouTube one more time. Someone, MD Mojnu from Bangladesh in the chat says, how do I join? So the link is in the comments on YouTube. It's at the top of the comments, and you can click that link to join us. And then we have one other person saying, Chris, you're a great teacher. I really appreciate it, but I'd like to know if learning English has something to do with a particular accent, like an American accent. So yeah, there's a lot of questions about accents, right? And, you know, a lot of people think about their accent a lot and worry about their accent, and you shouldn't. I know that doesn't help, but you really shouldn't, because so many people from different places speak with different accents. And so one big mistake, I won't talk about accents the whole time because we could talk about it for an entire course or more. But just one big mistake that people make with accents is they think that they need to lose an accent. That's not how an accent works. You don't lose an accent. You add an accent, because you don't want to lose the sounds that you say in your language. You don't want to lose the sounds that you know. You want to learn more sounds. You want to add new sounds. You're not losing something, you're adding something. So instead of saying, you know, for example, in the word hit, right? We have two words, hit and heat, two different sounds here. Hit and heat. So hit has a short sound and heat has a long sound. And maybe in your language, you don't have this sound like hit, like this short sound. That's okay. It's not a very beautiful sound. So, but, you know, probably in your language, you have an E sound. Most languages do. So you don't need to lose some kind of sound to say the word hit with this English sound. You just need to add this new sound, and you need to hear it many times and practice saying it many times so you can feel the difference between and e. I remember I had to do this when I was learning Russian, and there were some sounds that we don't have in English, and I felt very silly and stupid looking at myself in the mirror or standing in the shower and saying this sound that sounds very strange to me, and saying ooh 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 ooh, and trying to master this sound of another language. But I had to find the place in my mouth where I can try to make this sound correctly and understand the difference, because for me, before I learned that language, I only had these two sounds. I had and I had e. So when I started to learn the new language, I tried to say, oh, that sound is like this in English. And I tried to just make it the same as English, but it was different. And so you have to add a sound, not lose a sound. So, okay, that's my little answer there. Okay, Melissa, where did Melissa go? There she is. Hi, Melissa, are you ready? Yeah, there you are. What's your question for us?
Yes, hello. Hi, everyone, especially to Chris. Again, thank you for this opportunity and
thanks
for your time to speak with us.
Thank you.
I think this is one of my favorite topic for today. I will be the one to ask you. Yeah. My question is, uh, how to speak English with confidence. Because sometimes when I speak English, I'm not confident enough. I literally tremble. I feel like people are going to judge me, or I blank out and forget what to say. And I feel nervous like now. So
Mhm.
what I'm gonna do? That's my question. How to speak English with confidence.
Um, great, great. Good question. You know, it's difficult to answer these big questions in a short time, but I'll try. So I think that the most important part of speaking English or any language with confidence, or speaking with confidence in your language too. I think that it's all connected to something. In English, it's called identity. And we've talked about this in other meetings and other lessons. Identity basically means who you are or who you think you are. And I believe that this is what makes you confident. Because if you believe that you are somebody different, then you will not be confident about doing something. For example, I do not believe that I am a snowboarder. I cannot snowboard. I cannot go down the mountain on the board on the snow. I don't believe that I'm this person. I don't believe that I'm good at it. I don't believe that I can do it. I've never tried it. So if somebody told me to do it, I would not be confident, because I would, inside my mind, I've told myself that I can't do it but why did I tell myself I can't do it? Because I don't believe that I am a person who can do it. Right? So with languages, it's very similar. We say, am I a person who speaks this language or not? If you go into a situation and you think, I'm not a person who does this. I don't have experience doing this. I don't believe that I am a person who speaks without mistakes. I don't believe that I'm a person who speaks understandably. I don't believe that I'm a person who speaks English well. I don't believe that I can communicate with people. So if we don't believe those things, we won't be confident. So it's about how we see ourselves. This is what I think. It's about who you believe you are. And the only person who can decide who you are is you. And the only way to start being confident, or to start being the person who can do these things, the only way to do that is to start doing it. Like there's no other way. It's like a lot of time there's this is about every situation in life. I think it's just about confidence. It's not really about languages. It's just about confidence. Sometimes people will ask me, Chris, how can I start a business? And they're not confident about starting a business. And they say, oh, there's all these questions. I don't know lots of things. I don't know the steps. What should I do? Well, I'll tell you a secret, but this is a secret. I don't tell everybody. The way to start a business is to start a business. There's no way. You just have to do it. You have to just take the first step, and that's the only way to do it. If you don't take the first step, then it's not a business, and it hasn't. So it only happens when you do it. So it's the same thing about confidence, about other topics. If you want to do it, you have to just start doing it. So probably before you take an action, you think about a result that you want, right? So for example, before a person starts the business, they think about a result. I want to have freedom. I want to spend my time how I want, or I want to make more money, or I want to buy something, or right? They have some kind of goal. They have a result that they want. And so this result that they want helps them take the action, helps them take the first step. Because if you don't have a reason to do the action, then you won't do the action. Right? So probably I don't really think that a lot of people are just sitting around saying, I just want to be a person who speaks English. No, people are saying, I want to get a better job in an international company, and I need to speak English to do that. People are saying, I want to have relationships with people in different parts of the world or from different places, and they need English to do that, right? So find the reason to take action, and then when you take action, you'll be more confident doing it, because who you are. Because really, what we're trying to do to be confident, what you have to do is you have two. Everyone in the world has two things happening all the time. Two things happening all the time. This is where we are now. This is current situation. And this is where we want to be. Desired situation. And we're trying to get something that we want. And if you don't know what this thing is, if you don't know what it is, then you will not be confident. But when you know what it is, when you very clearly know what you want, it makes you more confident. So if you know why you need English or what you will use English for, then it will make you more confident to take the steps to learn English, right? Because like anything that you want in life, right now you're thinking like, for example, let's say I want to be a snowboarder. So so what am I going to do in my head? I'm going to say, okay, I want to be a professional snowboarder. So in order to be more confident about this, I need to start saying, okay, what do professional snowboarders do? They have a snowboard. I don't. Okay, I need to buy a snowboard. If I buy a snowboard, I'll be a little bit more confident that now I'm closer to being a snowboarder. Okay, snowboarders have some special clothes that they wear. So, okay, I'm going to buy, well, I don't know which snowboard to buy, and I don't know which clothes to wear. I'm going to go online. I'm going to learn about what are the right clothes, what are the right boards. How do you stand on the snowboard? I don't know that. So I'm going to go online. I'm going to look. I'm going to start learning what the steps are that I have to do. This will make me more confident, right? So, and I'll have a clearer picture of what a professional snowboarder really is. And when I have the clearer that my picture is, the more confident I will be. Just the same as starting a business. It's like when you just say, I just want to start a business, you're not very confident. But then when you count all of the numbers, and when you find all of the things that you'll have to spend money on, and when you understand how long it's going to take before you'll find the first customer, or right. So when you get all the details, you become more confident because you have a plan, right? So I know that was a really, really long answer.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for motivating us to be more confident. That's why we're here in this meeting to be more confident. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Great. Okay, let's go to Nirvana. Nirvana always has great questions.
Hello,
Hi. How are you today?
I'm great, and you?
Great. So what's your question today?
As always, I have vocabulary questions.
Okay.
What's the difference between tepid, warm, and lukewarm?
What was the first word?
Tepid.
Tepid? Uh-huh. So okay, let's go over here. I saw everybody loved my drawing, so thanks. Tepid, warm, and lukewarm, right?
Yes.
And let's also put room temperature. So I think everybody knows the word warm. If you don't know the word warm, it's between hot and cold. It's closer to hot, right? Tepid, like tepid and lukewarm are probably very similar. I only hear the word tepid used with the word water. Tepid water. That's the only time that I ever hear this word used. So this is like water that is not boiling, water that is not too hot or too cold. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't hear this word used a lot, but whenever I hear it, it's about water. So it's very similar to room temperature. It means that if you touch it, it's not hot, it's not cold. Room temperature is kind of the same. It's like this water is just sitting on the table. It's not warm, it's not hot. I mean, it's not cold, it's not hot. It's room temperature, the same temperature as the room, right? And then lukewarm, I mean, it's really the same, but I guess lukewarm is like a little bit warm, like kind of warm, which is like not cold. I think all three of these words, room temperature, lukewarm, tepid, if we're talking about water, they're really the same.
Another, what difference between fairly and too much?
Say that again.
Fairly.
Fairly?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. We'll answer this one and then we'll give another person a chance to ask some questions. So fairly and too much. So fairly, for example, if we said it's fairly warm, this means it's a little warm. I mean, yeah. It means a little bit. It means at least a little bit. We might also say relatively. It's relatively warm today. It's fairly warm today. It's a little warm today.
Okay.
Too much. Remember that the word too means more than we want or more than we need. So if something is too much, then it's more than we want or more than we need. Like, it costs too much. Or it costs too much money. Oops, I made a mistake there, didn't I? It costs too much money. Or it costs too much. It means it costs more money than I want, or it costs more money than I think it should. So these are very different ideas.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, let's go to Ceci.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
How you
Hello.
doing?
Hello, Chris. Morning, everyone. Hello.
Hi. Thanks for
That's,
joining us today.
yeah, that's awesome that you have this kind of opportunities to, or that you give us to make questions, because we really need to, we don't have too many people, native people who can answer us. And I just would like to contribute a little bit of what Melissa asked about how can somebody feel confident about when you talk or when you speak. Something that helped me, because there's no American people here in our country. There's a technique that it's called shadowing. I used it before it even exists, but I used to imitate or pretend I was acting like an American. And when you do that by yourself alone, and you listen to an audio and you follow it and you try to imitate it, that develops the skills. Believe it or not, you develop in reading, speaking, and at the same time, when you can pronounce words, you're gonna feel automatically more confident. So that's just a point of view that I just wanted to add, Chris.
I definitely agree with you.
My question that I have is not grammar or vocabulary or anything like that. It's something that I need for my lessons. It's because I never live in the States, and
Okay.
when they ask me what do people in the States eat for lunch or for dinner, I don't really know what to answer them, because we have the idea that Americans are always eating hot dogs, hamburgers, pizzas, and stuff like that. But in our country, we have different like stews, but I don't know how to translate them to English, or I don't even know if they eat that. I only know that that you guys love chicken and roast beef. And maybe fish or pork, but I don't know if you have some names for the stews. And I looked in the internet and I can't find anything. If I look in like menus in restaurants, I just find chicken and roast beef. That's all that I find. So can you share with us, if I go to your home, what would you prepare usually for your family and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's a difficult question because there's so many different people. I think now in the world it's like this almost everywhere, that there are so many different people from different places, and everyone has different traditions or cuisine, or and then it's really difficult to say that something is American, because people who came to America came from all different places. So it's really difficult to say that. But yeah, you're right. The stereotype is hamburgers, hot dogs. So I'm trying to think what I had. So for example, like in the last few days, I had lasagna, pizza, enchilada. Yeah. What else did I have? Oh, we had some food left from Thanksgiving. So turkey, sweet potatoes. As far as stew.
Yeah, it's a stew. Do you
as
like
far as
meat?
stew, we have
You,
yeah, we have some different types of stew that, but like again, they're not American. They're like French, like what's it called? Beef bourguignon, or like I think Russian. It might be Russian or from somewhere else. Goulash. So like I think whatever you want to find, you can find it, and I don't think there's like a standard thing that you eat for lunch. I was really surprised when I lived in Russia that a lot of people told me, oh, soup is something that you eat for lunch. And I never thought about that, because when I was in the United States, no one told me that soup is supposed to be for lunch. Like, you could eat soup for breakfast, you can eat soup for dinner. You can, like, I don't know. I don't think of like some, like, okay, for breakfast, I guess I like to eat cereal
all right,
with milk.
that's easy.
Yeah. So that's what I usually like to eat. But I mean, then of course, an omelet or just eggs, some kind of eggs. I mean, that's easy, fast, and I think everybody eats that. It's difficult to say. I don't think that there's really like a
Names.
special American lunch or something. I guess like
Or what about for dinner?
I guess the stereotype, stereotypes are funny because there are like people who are not in a group have a stereotype about the group, but also people who are in a group have stereotype about their group too. So like in other countries, the stereotype about American food is hamburgers, hot dogs, but in America, the stereotype about food, about lunch, for example, is probably like grilled cheese and tomato soup. Grilled cheese sandwich with tomato soup. This is like a very stereotypical American lunch, I think.
Peanut butter sandwich.
Peanut butter sandwich. That's another one. Yeah. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This is another like stereotypical, like a mom is sending her kid to school and puts like this sandwich in the bag for the kid.
Okay. And what about for dinner? Do you guys cook like meatballs or, I don't know, meat with sauce or something like that?
Yeah. I mean,
What's the name of that?
I mean, every person's house I go to, they make different food and they make different stuff, and everybody's different. So I can't really say, but I also don't want to lie to you. I almost never cook. Like, I almost never cook. And I'm very bad at cooking. Like, it's better for me not to, it's dangerous for me to be in the kitchen. So
somebody else has to cook.
My wife is a great cook, and she makes great food. So but yeah, I don't think that there's one thing that we have. We try to we try to change it and eat different food, and I was thinking about, like, for example, I went to Argentina a few months ago, and the stereotype is that everybody eats asado. Everyone eats this grilled meat. And so I did that a few times. And that was great. It was fun. But I also went to some people's houses and we ate like gohan, like a Japanese bowl of food. Like, I think everywhere in the world now there's food from everywhere. So, and people like to try different kinds of food all the time, right? It's boring to eat the same thing all the time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Just the last one.
Yeah.
When I heard sometimes noodles, are they talking about any kind of pasta, or it's just like spaghettis or?
Yeah,
Because
good question.
I noticed that they call noodles to everything, but then if you type there in Google, it's gonna appear something like looks from Japanese food.
Yeah, good question. And I know in some other languages, there's a lot of different words for different types of noodles. And I mean, like in Italian, for example, there's like a special name for every type
Yeah,
of noodle.
in my country.
So yeah, noodle is a general word about all of this like pasta food. I think pasta is usually like specially prepared noodles with, it's like a dish with other things together, right? But a noodle is like just one piece of this dish, one type of food. So for example, if you eat macaroni, that's another stereotype of American lunch, macaroni and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Uh-huh. So yeah, so for example, if you eat macaroni is a noodle. If you eat spaghetti is a noodle. If
Right.
you eat, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of types of noodles. What else is there?
Lasagna.
There's a lot of them, yeah. Tortellini. What else is there? Like, there's just so many. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Stacey.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. I'll just answer a couple questions from YouTube real quick, and then we'll come back to Zoom. Someone's asking, where do you guys live? Earth. That's where we live. We live on Earth. All of us. Believe it or not, all the people you see here are from the exact same place called Earth. And we're very patriotic. Next person says, are you looking for a boyfriend? I live in Delhi. Sorry, I'm not looking for a boyfriend, but thanks. Next person says, let's learn English together. Yeah, just click the link in the comments on YouTube and you can join us. And then somebody also said, I don't like hot dogs. I can understand that. Hot dogs aren't the tastiest type of food. I like hot dogs, but hey, I'm a fat American. Yeah. So Teresa Lukoki, hi. Hi, just turn on your microphone and yes. Hi.
Yes. Hi, Chris. Thank you for the opportunity. Hi, everyone.
Thanks for being
Chris,
here. Where are you joining us from?
From Africa, Angola.
Angola. Oh, great.
Yes. Yes, Chris. I started study English on 2020, but until today, I feel like I feel like I don't know very well some words. The little bit that English I can speak now, I learn it in your program English every day. I stay there so for much. Yes, I stay there for a few months, but I need to return again because I need to practice more my English. Sometimes I feel I said to speak for few making mistake. How can I get over it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big question today about confidence and overcoming the fear of speaking. Good question. Thanks. I think first, the most important thing for me to say is that you have already started getting over this fear because you put a name on it. You said, this is what it is. And you shared it with me. You told me I have this fear, and like a lot of people have this fear, but they don't say it. They don't know that they have it. Right. So I think that's step one. You're already making progress. That's great. I actually have 2 videos about this topic coming very soon on YouTube. So one with another girl who makes videos on YouTube, and one that I just made a few days ago. But so one thing that because I've been thinking about this topic a lot lately, and so one thing that I think is important is, so specifically the fear of making mistakes. I don't think that people are really afraid of making mistakes. I think people are afraid that other people will think something bad when they make a mistake. It's not the mistake that really scares us. It's other people that scare us, I think. And I think that we need to think about mistakes a little differently. Like, if a person criticizes you, or if a person, says something bad or thinks something bad because you made a mistake, well, what's really happening? That person is trying to take control of your mistake. It's really important that it's your mistake. If I make a mistake, it's my mistake. You cannot have my mistake. It's mine. I want it. It's mine. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to be in control of this mistake. I'm going to use it to learn something and to be better. And we can't give control to the other person, right? Like, it's like in your life, you want something, then you have to do it. If you want something, you have to get it. If you wait for other people to give it to you, you probably will not get it. So with the mistake, it's the same. You need to take control of the mistake. Oh, I made a mistake. I'm going to use that mistake to learn. I'm going to use that mistake to remember that I made a mistake. Okay, that's not what I should say in the future. That's not how you say it, or whatever the mistake is, right? And don't let other people control you with your mistakes. That this is, if we're afraid, we're not afraid of the mistake. We're afraid of other people using the mistake or thinking something bad. And this means that person is controlling us with this mistake, right? I don't know if this will really help you not be afraid, but it should help you after you make a mistake. After you make the mistake, to take control of this mistake and to not say, you shouldn't feel bad about a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. It would be very strange if you never made mistakes. You would be the only person who doesn't make mistakes. That's strange. So making mistakes is not strange, right? So it's just a natural thing to do, to make a mistake. Okay, I made a mistake. How am I going to use the mistake? So I hope that helps.
Yes, it's helped me. I think I need to return and English every day to practice more, because I understand very well when some people say something in English, but I feel like I forget, or I don't know very well some word in English. But I will return, and thank you for the opportunity, Chris.
Thank you. And we will be happy to have you back in our program. And thanks so much, Teresa. And so I've just sent the email address of our team in the chat. If you have a question about joining our English Everyday program, you can write us, or you can just go to our website. Yeah, this reminds me of another question that somebody asked one time. What did they say? It's like if you make no mistakes, what's going to change? Not much. That's the answer. Not much is going to change. If you make a mistake or you don't make a mistake, not much is going to change. If you make absolutely no mistakes, not much will be different, right? Because still everyone makes mistakes, and especially with speaking English. But yeah, a lot of people are kind of stuck on that. Like what's going to, like, a lot of people don't want to take control of their life, because taking control of their life means that they're responsible for their life, and responsibility is scary, and people do not want to be responsible. They want other people to be responsible, and they want to say, the things that are wrong, the things that are bad in my life, it's not my fault. There's bad people, and it's their fault. They did this to me. Not that I did it to myself. That's difficult to face. That's responsibility. People don't want that. And so they make this list of people who they should blame, other people. It's their fault. It's not my fault. But really, like, if the government changes, what will change in your life? Not much. If the economy is better, what will change in your life? Not much. If your family is nicer to you, what's going to change in your life? Not much. Just you have to do it. It's about you. It's not about those people, right? It's about you. The only person who can really make a big change is you. So a lot of people have this list of things. Not much. If you don't take control of your life, somebody else will. And you know what somebody else has planned for your life? Not much. So that's why you have to take control, and you have to do it. Okay, let's go to Fabian. Fabian, hi. How are you? Oh, we can't hear you. For some reason, we can't hear you. I see that your microphone is on Zoom, but maybe your audio settings. Oh, yes, now I hear you.
Oh, well, hi, everyone. It's nice to meet you. Yeah, I've been a long time subscriber from you, Chris, on YouTube.
Oh, thank you.
Well, yeah, I'm a student from Peru, and well, I have a pretty good level of English, I guess, but I find myself when I try to speak to some native speakers from my country, some from travelers from the US or Canada, I can talk to them, but I have some problems with understanding them. Like sometimes they are very fluent, they talk too a little fast. And well, sometimes, for example, with you talk a little bit like slower, more understandable. But when I talk to some native speakers, they talk way faster. They have this fluent level of English that I just find like troubles just understanding them. So what can I do now as a student to improve my understanding?
Good question. Yeah, I know what you mean. It sounds like native speakers speak very quickly, because they blend a lot of words together. So it can be difficult to know. And then also when they say lots of some special words or phrases that maybe you don't know, it can be difficult. Yeah, so it's important for everyone who watches YouTube or watches these lessons with me to understand that I'm a professional teacher of English as a foreign language. So I think it's my job to speak clearly. and also this means that I have how many, like 13 years of learning to say the right words for the right levels of English. So most people who speak English and most native speakers, they don't think about that stuff. They just don't think about it at all. I was with my friend last night, and we were talking about people who were speaking another language, and I said something to him. I said, yeah, you know, at the end of the sentence in English, to show people that it's the end of the sentence, we use falling intonation. Like our voice goes down. This shows that it's the end of the sentence. Like this. Right? So, and he said, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't think about that. So like he does it all the time. He does this, you know, 1,000 times every day, but he doesn't know that he does this. And it's probably the same for you in your language, that you speak it and you use it all the time. But if a person from another country asked you, well, why do you do it that way? You might not really know the answer. You might have, maybe you've never thought about that before. So yeah, so most native speakers, they don't think about speaking in a way that's understandable. That's why it's probably easier for you to understand people who are not native speakers, and it's harder to understand native speakers. Native speakers will use a lot of special phrases and slang and idioms and phrasal verbs, and like all that stuff is really confusing to people who are trying to learn English. And there was a business article about how in Europe they don't, a lot of people who went to business conferences, they didn't like it when British people and when American people were the speakers, because it's harder to understand them because they're native speakers and they just use lots of strange phrases. And you know, probably, you know, in your language, you can say the same thing in many different ways. And you can, and like when you speak your first language, you don't want to say the same thing again and again and again. You don't want to say it the same way. You want to be creative. You want to make it sound interesting. And native speakers are doing this in English too. So that's why it's difficult to understand them, because they don't want to just say the same thing that everyone said. They want to say it in a new, creative way. And this makes it even harder for us to understand them. So how can you improve this, right? How can you improve? So it's only with experience. It's only by listening, having more experience listening to different speakers speak. It's only by learning more, like seeing more examples of vocabulary. You can read it in text, you can listen, you can watch and listen in videos, songs, radio, real speech. This is through experience. That's the only way to improve it. Yeah, there's not like a magic trick that we can just snap our fingers and, oh, okay, that's the one thing that, yeah, it's just about experience. But what I think helps is just choosing one accent, choosing one place. Like, this is good for everybody who's watching right now, everybody who's here. I think you should choose, what is your home city in English? So maybe your home city will be London. And this means that you want to learn how to speak like some people in London. And when you learn English, then speak like that, and try to speak like that, and try to keep that accent. maybe you want your accent to be from Texas and you're going to speak like people from Texas. Maybe, you know, I think it's important to choose one place and to say that that's like my home in this language. And that's where my accent will be from. And this will make everything a lot easier, because then then there aren't all of these questions like, okay, well, those people say it this way, and those people say it this way, and those people say it this way. How am I going to say it? Because like, think about what real people in real life do. Like, I speak American English. If I go to England, I don't just start speaking British English, right? I still speak American English. I still say the same things that I said, and it sounds strange to them. And I have a different accent from them, and they say, "Oh, you're not from here." I don't try to change my accent for them. It should be the same for you. Just you have your accent. You're from the place that you're from. Okay, you want to sound more like native people, more natural. Okay, so choose one place. And then if you go to other places, or if you meet people from other places, just keep your one accent. I'm going to Mexico in a few weeks, and I think people there will laugh when I pronounce words like Argentinian people, because Argentina is my home for my Spanish. So there are different sounds and they speak differently. So it's going to be an interesting test for me. But I think it's strange if you try to change your accent for every place that you go, right? Normal people don't do that. Like, native speakers don't do that. So I think that helps. Instead of always trying to change who you are for all the people around you, just say, this is my English. This is what I know. And then, be confident. Just another thing, Fabian, is another thing to think about is, like, don't be afraid to ask people to repeat themselves. Don't be afraid to ask them to say it again. Because, like, a lot of my students, a lot of people who I talk to, they think it's bad if they have to ask somebody to repeat themselves. It's not. Like, when I talk to people in English, some people just don't open their mouth when they speak. And I'll say, what did you say? Excuse me? Can you say that again? And they might say it 3 times. I'll be, hey, I don't understand what you're saying. I just tell them, I don't understand what you're saying. So, like, I think native speakers in every language, there are some people who just don't speak very clearly, and you just don't know what there's, or for some people it's difficult to hear what they're saying. And some people just speak very quietly. They just always speak very quietly. Right? Like, just some people speak differently, and sometimes it's difficult to understand them. So just because you didn't understand what somebody said, it doesn't mean that you don't know the language. It just means you don't understand what that person said. That's all it means. So, Fabian, I hope that some of that maybe was helpful a little bit.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. Let's go to Kai. Hi, Kai.
Hi, Chris. Can you hear me? Hi, everyone. My name is Kai, and I'm from Malaysia.
Malaysia, okay.
Yeah,
Great.
but I live in Singapore right now, and then I'm a student.
Cool.
Yeah. Before I want to.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kai. Can you turn? That's my mistake. Can you turn your microphone back on?
I mean, before I ask the question, I gotta shout out to Melissa for introducing me to join here. Yeah, so that means a lot to me.
Melissa.
Yeah, yeah, Melissa. Okay, so my first question would be, is it okay to, like, imitate the way, like, how the way African American, the way they speak, is it okay to, like, because I find it very catchy, very beautiful because I watch NBA all the time. I watch, like, American basketball, and then players mostly are, African American. So I find it very catchy. So is it okay to learn that? Is that I'm not saying the vulgar language, I'm saying the intonation of it, the accent of it. Is it okay? Is that considered a real English? Yeah, that's my question.
That's really cool. Good question. Okay, so we're talking about African American English of African American people, right? Great. Okay, so two parts to this answer. First of all, we have to say, what does African American mean first, right? Because African American is usually about the group of people who were brought to North America as slaves in the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, in this period of time in history. And so I think it's really important to draw a line between, when people use African American, they're usually talking about these people who their relatives but were brought to North America, to the United States. And now they have grown up in the United States. And maybe they don't know exactly where their relatives were from because their history was erased, it was taken away. So they maybe don't know where they came from exactly in Africa. But so this group has a special culture, has a special history, has a lot of so this is a big important group in the United States today. And it's important to understand that group is different from people who are African. And when I'm in different countries in the world, it always happens that like some people think that anyone who has dark skin, that you're supposed to call them African American, but this is not true. Like I have friends from Nigeria, they go to Ukraine or Russia or somewhere else in Europe, and people call them African American, and they say, "I'm not American. I've never been to America. I've never been there. I'm not American. What are you talking about? I'm just African." So also African, I mean, Amira, she lives in Egypt. She's African. I know a lot of people who their skin looks like mine. They're in South Africa. They're African. There's lots of different people who are African, right? So like, I just want to make sure that we're clear about that first. Okay. So the second thing is that, so there's a special word that describes, so if you want to learn to speak that way, then there's a special term about it. It's called Ebonics. This is the name of this special type of English spoken, I mean, that usually we're talking about when we talk about African American English, Ebonics. And there are, like, at some universities, people study this type of English in linguistics, but so there are some special things about Ebonics that that are different from standard English, especially the use of the verb to be. I mean, one example, okay? One example is the verb to be. A lot of speakers of Ebonics, or you can call it African American English, I guess. It's kind of difficult to say exactly what African American English is, because not all African American people speak Ebonics or speak with this type of English. In fact, I think that Ebonics is, like, most people would consider that Ebonics is not correct English. and that it sounds uneducated because it doesn't follow the rules of standard English. So I think it's not correct to say that Ebonics and African American English are the same, because African Americans are just a group of people, and they can speak in many different ways. So anyway, I think what you're talking about is Ebonics, and Ebonics is this special category, like rappers. They like this special way that they're speaking. This is like this. So, and it's not only people who are African American, it's people who have all different colors of skin. So yeah, so in Ebonics, one example of Ebonics is the verb to be. A lot of speakers of Ebonics will just use the word be instead of changing the verb to be. So for example, in standard English, we're going to say, I am working, or just I'm working, right? A more conversational, I'm working. And in Ebonics, they might say, I be working. So they might not change the verb to be for different people, for I, you, he, she. They could just say be for everyone. He be working, we be working, they be working. About pronunciation, a lot of times the letters th, for example, they, it will sound like they be working. So there's just a lot of things that people say that don't follow the standard rules of English. And that's why, like, I recommend, if you're learning English, to follow the rules of English in the beginning. And then once you reach a very high level of English, then you can study how to break the rules. So like, I would not recommend learning Ebonics as like your type of English that you want to speak like. And again, Ebonics is not just about people who have one color of skin. It's not about that. I have African American friends who speak all different ways. Yesterday, I was with the friend I was with yesterday. He has like really dark skin, and he has a completely different accent because he's from the Virgin Islands, some islands near Florida, US Virgin Islands. So it's a territory of the United States, but he speaks more like someone from Jamaica. And in Jamaica, they have a special type of English, and many of the speakers there, instead of saying they'll say they, and many of the same things that are similar to Ebonics. And so, yeah. And again, this is just about American English. Then you have people who immigrated to the UK, to the United Kingdom, and they have a special way of speaking in their groups. So yeah, so Kai, it's a really great question. It's a very complicated topic, but I probably, I think the thing that you're talking about is like, it's a subculture group. It's more it's not really related to the NBA. I think it's more related to hip hop and rap, and it's more related to this kind of culture. And maybe it's not even about music. It's probably more about like ghettos, like poor areas. So yeah, it's probably not the best. You probably don't want to just start learning that. It'll confuse you, I think. But good question. Okay, let's go to the next person. Ashima. Hi, Ashima.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Great, great. Thanks for asking. Where are you joining us from?
I'm from India.
India. Great. What part?
Yeah. I'm Maharashtra, Mumbai, Maharashtra,
Maharashtra.
Mumbai.
Mumbai.
Yeah, Mumbai.
Cool. So what is your question today?
I am a public health student, so I'm preparing for my interview, upcoming interview. So, how to prepare yourself in daily basis in speaking English and some kind of interview and fair.
Prepare yourself for an interview. And sorry, the
Yeah.
interview is for what again?
I'm a public health student, Master of Public Health.
Sorry, publican?
Public health. Public health.
I
Hello.
don't completely understand.
Master of Public Health.
Master of what?
Public health. Public.
Publican. Public health.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay. Public health. So like a doctor.
Yeah, I am a doctor.
Okay. Great. And you're going to be interviewed for a job?
Yeah, job interview.
Okay. So let's see. For a job interview, what do we need? So, okay. Preparing for a job interview.
Yeah.
How much of the job really is about English and how much of the job is about medical knowledge?
50%, 50%.
Okay.
Mm.
So I don't know.
Like a WHO, UNICEF, World Bank kind of organization, international organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
They
That's
are
great.
working in public health.
Okay. Okay. So okay. Public health. Let's see.
Yeah.
I think the important thing to think about is how can you be useful to them? A lot of people go to a job interview and they only think about what they can get. But like this doesn't make you attractive to the people who are looking for someone. You should go to the job interview and show them that you know a lot of information about what they do.
Yeah.
You should ask them some good questions that show that you've really thought about this position, and and you should not just say like, oh, I'm good at this thing, or I'm good at this thing. You should like show them that you're ready to work really hard to help them reach the goals that they're trying to reach. So like, why do they need a person in this position? And yeah, just a lot of people go to job interviews trying to get something from the person giving the job. Instead, it should be the other way, that you go there and you say, I can help you with this. I can give you this help.
Okay.
I think that's the most important. That's the most important thing that you can do at a job interview.
Thank you.
Also, I think it's important to remember that like being, so maybe other people are different from me, but I believe this.
Okay.
Coachability, like your ability to listen to someone's advice and to listen to someone's criticism and listen to if someone can tell you, I don't like how you did this, you need to do it differently. Like if you can take that and you can say, okay, I'll do it better. Some people just hear that and then they say, oh, I give up. Right. So a person who is coachable, they can listen to something and then they can say, okay, I'm going to do it better now. I'm going to try again. I'm going to try harder. I'm going to do it better. I think that this characteristic is a lot more important than experience.
Yeah.
A lot more important than experience. So if you can show the person, so show the interviewer that you can learn and that you don't know everything and that you're ready to learn. I think that that's important. And a lot of people forget that. A lot of people will go to an interview and say, I know everything. Oh, that question? Yeah, I can do that easy. Oh, come on, this is too easy for me. So yeah, I think, of course, confidence is important too, to say, I'm confident that I can do this, but I'm also ready to learn more. And not that you're coming there to learn more. Like, I just want to learn from you so I can be, so that you can give me more knowledge. Not like that, but like, but I'm confident that I can help, but I'm open to learn new things and I'm excited about what we can do together. Right?
Yeah.
This position is, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's go to Jamshid. Hi.
Good afternoon. Hi, Chris and Marcus. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
so
too.
I'm calling from Uzbekistan. If you know, heard about this city of Samarkand, there's a lot of such a rich culture. I recommend travel here if you don't mind, of course. So
I would love to come to Uzbekistan. You said you're in Samarkand?
Samarkand.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's amazing city.
It's the second biggest city after Tashkent, right?
Yeah, of course. The Tashkent is the capital city, and the second one is Samarkand. Is sometime there was a capital early in the history. I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that in Central Asia, Uzbekistan is like the art and culture capital.
Yeah, that's that kind of stuff. So
cool.
I've been studying in medical university, and I'm a student right now, 4th year of academic years, and I'm struggling to find some participant to speak with somebody. There's no one else to talk in English. Ain't nobody understand me when I'm just talking in English. So what can I do in this position?
Well, I think that there are some options online to practice speaking with people in different places around the world, right? If you don't have a group of people to speak with offline, then online is good. So we have a speaking program here. I've just sent the link in the chat, in the comments, and yeah. So this link will take you to a program on our website where you can practice speaking 3, 4, or 5 times every day with people from around the world and with native speakers and with professional teachers. So this is one option for you. I mean, another option is like in this video that I shared earlier today. This one, I'll share the link.
Yeah, I've been watching your videos from YouTube. Like every videos I've been watching from your videos.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's perfectly understandable. It's perfectly fine.
So in this video, the one I just sent the link to, there are some strategies for speaking, like maybe it was this one, maybe it was a different video. But anyways, you know, we talked about a few strategies today about repeating what you see, like Ceci was talking about shadowing, or like pause and repeat. You listen to something and then you repeat what was said. This is really great, but yeah, nothing is really better than just practicing speaking with people.
Yeah, that's kind of stuff.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying, because you know, when you just go on some apps on the internet, you meet a different person every time, and so every time you have the same conversation. You're like, "Hi, I'm Chris. I'm from the United States. Oh, I like pizza. Okay, bye." And then you go to the next person. You're like, "I'm Chris. Nice to meet you. I like pizza. Oh, bye." And then, right, you never have like a real conversation. And then you have a real conversation when you see the same person or the same people again and again, and you start to learn about each other, and then you start to speak a little differently. And right, this is real speaking. So so that's why I suggest this program that I've sent you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thanks
I
for joining us
appreciate it.
today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Let's see. In the chat here, Kai wrote, "Thank you guys. I need to go now. Thanks to Melissa for introducing me." Yeah, thanks, Melissa. Thanks for telling people about this. Yeah, and everybody who's watching, if you can tell other people to come and subscribe to the channel, and we will start adding more of these meetings, and it'll be great to have more and more of them, not only with me, but with other teachers too, because when more people subscribe, then YouTube is going to pay us more money, and we're going to use that money to pay teachers to have lessons. So that's how that works. So, okay, Kai, other than that, so, okay. Everything was fine, Kai. There was no problem with your question. It was great. Okay, we also have Neja. Neja, this will be the last question for today. Neja, I don't see you. Can you hear me, Neja?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Where are you from?
I am from Morocco.
Morocco. Okay, great.
I am happy to be with you today.
I'm happy to see you too. So you're from Morocco. So do you speak Arabic, French, and Spanish?
Yes. For me, I speak just French, English, Arabic.
French,
little
English,
bit
Arabic.
Spanish.
Okay, great.
Thank
you. Great. So what is your question for today?
Okay, my question is, watching a movie with subtitles is a good way to improve my English?
Watching movies with subtitles. I think it's good. I think it's good. I think so. Okay, when you watch, I think that there's a big difference between watching a film for entertainment, like to enjoy the film, and watching a film to learn the language. I think that these are two completely different things. When you're watching the film or TV show or video to learn the language, I think that you should stop the video or stop the movie many times. And sometimes you should go back and listen again. And you should have a notepad and you should write down the words and the phrases that you're learning. So like if you watch a film or a movie for entertainment, then of course you don't want to always stop every 30 seconds and then go back. It's not fun. But if you're going to use that to learn the language, then I think that it's important to do those things. It's important to stop it. It's important to write down notes. And I think it's also important that you don't have to finish the movie the first time. Like the movie is really long. So if there's a lot of new words or phrases, researchers, people who study languages, they say that when you read a book or when you watch a video, a film, a movie, a TV show, that you should understand at least 80%. So there should only be like 10 or 15, the most 20% of words that you don't know, or words or phrases that you don't know, because and many of them say you should know 90%. There should only be 10% that you don't know. Because if there's just lots of stuff that you don't know, you're not really going to learn all of that stuff. You're just going to be writing down lots of stuff and you're not really going to learn it. So I think it's important to think about that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. Okay, and Nestani, it looked like you had a question, but then you don't have a question anymore, or maybe you do.
No, I just listen you. Hello, everybody.
Hi. Well,
I
thanks.
just listen. So.
All right, great. Well, thanks to everybody who came here today. Wow, this was almost 2 hours long, so that's fun. But it's good that we got to answer a lot of questions. Thanks to everybody who came here, even those who didn't ask questions or didn't speak today. What do you think about this format of our meeting? Is this better? Is this good? Because in the past we had like a philosophical topic that we discussed, and today we spoke more about English. It's more like a lesson. What do you think? What's better? You liked both ways, Michelle? Okay. Nastani, yeah, what do you think?
I think if we choose some topics, because it's continuous a long time, and we have not for example, my way, I have not all time I have not many time to continue communication with you. And so if we have like limited time, for example, 1 hour, and I know that it's continue, and we have like one topics, and we can talk about around this topics, and more comfortable for me, like for my life.
I understand. I think everyone would agree that everyone wants to have some more speaking practice. So actually, I have something for you. Let me write this. Let me give this to everybody in the chat. So in the chat right now, I'm going to send you a link. So here's a link in the chat, and great. There's a link on YouTube in the comments also. So I'll show you what I'm talking about right now. This is a program where you can do exactly that. We have topics. For example, in 4 minutes or 3 minutes, there's going to be a lesson that's starting with another teacher. Her name is Minette. And the course, the course that she's teaching, or the general idea of what she's teaching, is all about perfect. So they're talking about present perfect, past perfect, future perfect, how to use all of this. And today's lesson is the various uses of have. So how to use the verb have in different ways with the perfect. And so you can see here, this is inside of our program called English Every Day. So there are specific topics. It's 1 hour long. You see the date and the time. These times are in New York City time zone. But you can actually go down here to this calendar and add this calendar to your phone or computer, and you can change it to your time zone. So you'll see all the lessons in your time zone. So you just change it one time and you have all the lessons in your time zone. But you can see that, for example, the next lesson that starts in a few hours, famous and infamous world leaders. This one is with a teacher named Robert, and the topic is Ho Chi Minh. So it's like a history topic, right? Then there's another lesson today with Minette again called Education English. So it's language learning. We're talking all about words connected to language, learning languages and education. Then Robert is talking about political parties. Then Sabine is talking about DNA and human intelligence. And so there's a special topic with a time limit, and it's not like what we do here, right? Like on YouTube, we have a limit because we have to stay here. We can't go to small rooms and talk. But in those lessons, we start in the main room like this, and then we go to small groups and practice speaking, and the teacher goes to the different groups, and so you get a lot more speaking practice. So that's really the difference. So if you want more speaking practice, specific topics, and more chances to speak every day, like lots of lessons every day, then English every day. I sent the link in the chat. That's the program, and I really recommend it. So, Michelle, are all of the teachers native speakers? Yeah, so all of them are professional teachers. They're all native speakers or at the level of native speakers, and we're bringing in more teachers also. But yeah, most of them, let's see, where are they from? We have a teacher from United States, from Canada, South Africa, from Cyprus. In the past, we had teachers, we also have a teacher from the UK. We also had a teacher from Belize. I don't know if you know where Belize is, but Belize is also an English-speaking country that is next to Mexico. So yeah, we had a teacher from Australia, we had a teacher from India, we had a teacher from Pakistan who lived in Canada for like 12 years, and he was like he was such a great teacher, but like, so it's difficult to say who's a native and who's not sometimes, because like technically he was from Pakistan, but he was like the leader of the teachers because he was like training other teachers. And his accent was like Canadian. So yeah. So all of the teachers, I interview the teachers myself. I make sure that their English is good enough, and that they like being a native speaker isn't the best way to understand if they're a good teacher. A lot of native speakers don't know what they're doing and don't know what they're talking about. So like usually on the teacher interviews, it's more important for me to ask them about grammar, because if a native speaking person doesn't know anything about grammar, then sorry, but like I like to work with people who know grammar and who know the rules. I like to, so yeah, okay, great. So thank you so much, everybody, for staying so long, and I will see everybody next time. Just a reminder, we will be back on YouTube next week, Wednesday, 8 a.m. New York time, and I hope to see you there. And now I have to go because I'm interviewing a new teacher.